Season 1, Jeff, Barracuda, and the North American Sweethearts bring it home under the banner of Cognitive Pride.
No one thought had a chance at the finals coming into this event. Coming as the number 2 team. Face down, ripping through, Titan, down, falls 3, a double kill for himself, it's a 5-man run, they're gonna go for the win, the world champions, Cognitive Pride, GG!
Season 2, we say hello to Europe as Adapting and Epsilon Esports slam it home.
Make a huge play, Adapting's about to go up, he's gonna come crashing down, who's the target? It's gonna be all 3, and 2 will get stunned out.
Oh no.
He's taking tons of damage.
Oh no.
Chaos force to move forward.
They don't have enough time for this. They don't have enough time for this.
No, it's a deicide. Ladies and gentlemen, Epsilon Esports.
Season 3, new name, same roster. Two-time world champions, Raffer and NRG.
Well, there's 4 members left, and into the sky goes Adapting. The ultimate's way down. The Titan is under siege. Energy are looking to be world champions again. Long live the King! And once again, the King is Europe.
Season 4, Polar Bear Mike brings it back for America. E-United slams the hammer.
Cracking it knocked back. There's Death Walker controlling things. Panic Cat takes that Wolfie. Where's the remainder of the team fight?
That's one. And E-United keeps on going because Panic Cat.
That's 2. Still pushing forward. They're at the Titan. Only 2 members to play defense.
They can't do it.
And that's the game. That's the series. That is your SMITE World Championship. Say hello to your North American victors, Polar Bear Mike and E-United.
Season 5, new map, new players, new teams, same destination. Who raises Thor's hammer? The SMITE Pro League.
Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the placement stages for the SMITE World Championships. Finch here, I'm joined by J-Mac Tucker. Happy to have you. Taco here with me as well. And I know that you all are both excited. I mean, this is going to be a big day.
And things are really starting to heat up now with day 3 of the competition coming into play. I think a lot of people are really expecting to see some sparks fly. And more importantly, we finally get a chance to see a little bit of Obey in Space Station.
And we also get to see how the minor league handles up against one of the other SPL teams here. This time they're going up against Mouse Esports, the same in the European side of the matchup.
That's right. There's a lot of important matchups coming up throughout the day. I mean, this is huge implications. No one going home just yet. We're going to be in that upper bracket side, so people still get some second chances, but definitely some big ones. But remember, everyone right now trying to earn their way towards HRX. For you all, you still have a chance. It's still going to be relatively easy. All you got to do is go to highresexpo.com, and you can pick up your tickets there November 16th through the 18th. That's the big show that everyone's trying to make it to.
And you're not going to want to miss out on any of the action. If you think that placement rounds are spicy as is, you will not believe what's going to be taking place, because I can assure you things are bound to change.
That's right. Things will get even more exciting once they finally make it there. We'll be taking 4 members from this placement stage of everything towards that DreamHack, where we already have 4 teams that are waiting on them. So it's hard with this many teams here to see who's going to make it there. But if you all need a recap, a quick go over with what happened yesterday, maybe you missed some of the action, you got a chance to take a look right here.
It is day 2, and it appears everybody's woken up on the jesty side of bed, and I'm supposed to be the court jester.
From a coaching perspective, I'm looking forward to facing Space Station. They recently got Dimmy as a coach, and they represent a brand new challenge.
And this one, they find Brawl on the back end, Titan below half HP, and that certainly will do it. Rival 2-0. It was not easy, but they take down Armada.
Outside of that, you know, you just gotta be confident when you get to LAN. You can't think that you can't win. Then you definitely won't win if you think like that. So.
I saw on Twitter PBM guaranteed that you're going to go 10-0 or better in each of these games. Do you feel confident in that, and what are you going to give up if you don't go 10-0?
Well, you'll obviously get your money back, and if afterwards, a public apology.
At it, Masto going to Sonic Boom on the Titan. I think this one's done for, Tom.
2 players stuck in the fountain, and that's Counter Logic Gaming taking the set. And if you ask them, business as usual.
The team for me feels, I feel really good because I feel like everyone understands what I'm trying to do, understands what like my play styles, and they respect my shot calls a lot. So because people respect me in the sense of shot calling, it's really easy for me to make good plays. And
And you can even tell that Zadman's doing a hard 180 from his old style in game number 1 when he played the Nuwa, the mage, quote-unquote ADC/hunter position, where you're thinking more of team fights. When you've kind of...
And this was the kind of win that Trifecta needed, right? You were saying it needed to be convincing, and I think that they can feel good.
As his beads up, here comes Texi, knocked up, knock him down. Atletico defend their base for 30 straight minutes, and they take the enemy down. Game 1 in the books. It belongs to the land down under.
I don't care what anybody says. Benny Q cost Armada that game. If you want to make a joke out of the Oceanic team because you think that they're not going to get punished for it, that's what you get for it.
Player strong, the Titan is going to go down. The minor leaguers send Oceania back down under.
That video made it clear it has been a tournament of ups and downs, upsets back on day 1, very close sets on game 2. So that just means it's very difficult for us to do our job, which is try and predict what's going to be happening here in these games going forward. I mean, Taco, when it's games like this, sets like this, where you don't know who's going to win, I mean, how much better does that make it when the competition's this close?
Even looking at our very first set of the day, Obey versus Luminosity, that is already, I don't want to call it a tight-knit race. I think that most people would probably be expecting to give that slight edge to Obey, and for good reason. I think when you factor in their fall split performance, the online portion looked really solid for them, and Prime making it out here to land, it is really something I want to highlight, because Obey having their full 5-man roster is going to be very difficult for Luminosity, I think, to try and deal with.
I think having Pretty Prime here is one of the big factors for Obey Alliance. When we all heard that Pretty Prime was going to be gone, it was a little bit shakier for us. You know, bring Flippo in, he is still a strong player in his own right, but having Pretty Prime here is a much more solid factor for Obey. And going up against Luminosity, Luminosity hasn't had the strongest of seasons compared to Obey Alliance, so we really can't write either team yes or no yet.
It's been going to be a big day, though. You saw some of those important matches in Signum going against Mouse Sports. That's going to be coming up later on. Space Station against SK Rival. Going to be playing a little bit later on as well. Those are going to be happening later on. But, I mean, this is a big day full of sets. The Obey versus LG, the one that you guys have kind of been talking about already, is one that it is difficult not to favor Obey in. But this LG team, they've been prepping in. They've got a new look. They've got Inbound in the support role. Do we really know what the top potential for this team really is until we see them up against some of the best?
Well, that's what I really want to see from Luminosity, is that little bit of a step up, because when you compare it to their initial debut here at LAN, Luminosity did not look like they were prepared in the slightest. They nearly ended up losing that set to Nocturnes to begin with, and so now I think a lot of expectations have definitely risen, because Cloud himself even announced, we didn't do a whole lot of prep for the Nocturne set. We will definitely be prepared for Obey, but I'm still curious, how much prep did you actually put into this, if you're willing to admit that there was none involved for Nocturnes?
It's going to take a lot of prep if you want to try and grab this set. But over on the other side, Obey are the ones who have a big matchup ahead of them as well, kind of the favorites here. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Hazer. I believe he's standing by for an interview to see their thoughts going into this set.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm here live in the Obey booth right now. Hazer's joining alongside me for today's game up against Luminosity. Hazer, first set for you guys in this tournament. You've had a couple of days to sit back and see the competition. How are you feeling about how the competition looks?
So Luminosity obviously had a bit of a rough set against Latin America, but we're not taking them lightly. I think a lot of the teams look really, really good. Everybody's obviously come into this event really prepared. It's that time of year. Everybody steps up, so yeah, we're just hoping we can follow in the other EU teams' footsteps and keep the train rolling.
So what's the plan today with the draft? Is it going to be anything specific against what you've seen out of Luminosity's weaknesses, or are you looking to just do the usual Obey things?
Yeah, we'll do Obey things. I think the important thing for us is just sticking to our guns. We looked like the best team in the world towards the end of the split, so I think if we play our game, we'll win.
Bit of drama behind the scenes with you guys. Obviously, Pretty Prime potentially not being able to make this LAN, and then last minute the baby drops and all is good. Was there any minor adjustments or major adjustments you had to make at the last minute because of this?
So as soon as we knew that Prime wasn't coming, we looked to pick up a sub. We tried out a few people, and we tried out Flippo, and Flippo turned out to be really, really good. Mature beyond his years as well. So he was great for us. So we practiced half and half. So we have had slightly less practice than other teams will have with their full roster, but they played a kind of similar play style, so everybody's ready going into this. So we didn't really adjust our practice at all, to be honest. We just happened to be playing with an extra player some of the time. But yeah, I mean, they play the same play style. We're going to pick the same picks regardless, and Prime's ready to rock and roll.
Awesome. Last question before I let you get back to it. Scoreline today for this set?
I've got to say 2-0 to us.
Okay, that's it from Hazer. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Hindu, for that interview there. Always good to get to hear from Coach Hazer, one of our great minds here in the scene. And J-Mac, you heard him say that they think that they were looking like the best team in the world. Do you think they're the favorites just amongst these placement stage teams, amongst the teams that are here with Prime in this roster?
I think that Obey has some of the biggest fans out there for them wanting to finally get that World Championship title. They have been a fan favorite for so many of these players, between Captain Twig, Pretty Prime. I mean, there's so many names to go down the list for these guys, and they even do have a former world champion on there with Raffer. So this could be Obey's time here, but one thing that I really want to highlight that Hazer said was not taking them lightly. That's something that we have to see from these top teams is, yes, LG was the bottom seed in North America, but you cannot underestimate them.
No, you absolutely cannot in this situation, and I'm glad to hear that from Obey because that's what we heard from LG, right? Talking that they hadn't maybe put enough prep into their match. Even though they didn't get all the scrim time with Prime, it certainly sounds to me like they're still fully prepared.
LAN is just so different in comparison to online play that you can never really afford to count any team out, and I think that was something that Luminosity really had a serious wake-up call to in their set from Nocturne. So I am fairly certain that this team would have gone through a lot of VOD review from that point forward, and they've also had time to kind of internalize everything that's been breaking down here at LAN, because we have gotten a little bit of insight towards some of the European picks, I think, from watching these matches with Insignum, with Mouse, and even SK, for example, is another team that I think a lot of these North American teams have started trying to draw more picks towards, and I think that the aggressive playstyle that North America has been known for that early game portion might be taking a step back here in that set.
I definitely think there's a chance, but their opponents on the other side, LG, we'll see how well they can make things work, but we do get a chance to actually hear from their coach before they go into the match. Let's see where their mindset is with their interview.
I'm here with Coach Haiti? What is it?
Oh, it's Haiti.
Haiti. Let's go with that. We'll see how long that lasts until he changes it again, more than likely. Coach at Luminosity here today. Coming into this one, you guys have already played against Nocturnes day one. Talk to me about what went right, what went wrong. Did everything go as expected?
Well, against Nocturne, I think we went into it like not giving them enough credit. We were underestimating them a lot. We assumed it was going to be a really easy, simple set. It was not. But for Obey, we're a lot more planned for it, ready for it, watching their VODs, going over our VODs, reviewing everything. We're pretty prepared for it.
As I was going to get to next is obviously like Nocturnes was a test for you guys. Now you've got an even bigger test against Obey. Is there any certain plans we're going to see here today? Is there anything special we're going to get to see?
We have some stuff that, if need be, we'll use, but if not, we would probably save it for the finals. But we still have some secret picks, you know, you'll see in the draft.
Now, North America is a region as well. The coaches of the region haven't really been talked about too much through the years. Europe kind of stood out more. What is it that you're bringing to this team that's making an impact?
Honestly, just having, I guess, an unbiased opinion is really useful in like a team setting. Because like, obviously, if you're playing, you usually never want to blame yourself. But like having someone that's not biased at all is really good for the team environment.
Okay, final question before I let you go. I asked Hazer what he thought the scoreline was going to be. He's saying 2-0 Obey. What about you?
2-0. That makes no sense because the script says. So I have no idea what he's talking about. Maybe he got the wrong script.
How did you find my script?
It was mailed to us. Did we get the wrong one? Because I think Hazer got the wrong one.
Well, you guys at home will get to find out shortly whether this script is right or not. Let's get it back to the desk.
What are you doing, Hindu? You got to have better script security than that. Letting it get into the hands of the coaches and players.
Mailing it to anybody these days, apparently.
Yeah, we got
take one.
We got to do something about that. Make sure Hindu's keeping those on lock. But it's good to hear some confidence there from LG, and they're prepping more. And I think in this matchup in particular, you got to focus in on Gino and his matchup up against Prime in that middle lane. Now that Prime is going to be here, and with Gino making that swap over, I mean, it's going to be tough going up against one of the best in the world in the middle lane.
Especially when you don't have as wide of a god pool as Pretty Prime. Gino has been known to have a little bit smaller of the pool there, and a lot of them are similar to Pretty Prime's pickups. The Vulcan in particular is probably the one that I'm mostly looking at for their mid lane matchup here, and Prime has shown that he's got all kinds of gods available to him.